Cancer, welcome to the tarot room. My name is Robin. And Cancer, today, let's do a general love check-in. Let's check in on the love. Let's do a love reading. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what we tap into today. Let's see what's up with the Cancer collective in love. We have cassette. Outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over and over again. All right, let's see what's going on. Maybe you're going through the same thing. Maybe you're thinking about the same thing. Maybe someone else is. Maybe there's a difference of opinion between you and someone else. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what we're tapping into. We got the Hermit. Okay. We got the Nine of Swords. Might be keeping it to yourself, or there could be no contact here. We'll find out. We'll find out. But there's an awful lot of thinking. There's the Knight of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Virgo energy with this Hermit. Tower is in reverse. There's a resistance to change. Okay. All right. And Cancer, for those of you who are interested, I am open for personal readings. If you'd like one, the link is in the description box below. We got ourselves the Nine of Cups and then the Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. We have Judgment, and there's the World. Ooh, is it over? Is there potential? Is there opportunity? I do feel we've tapped into a Cancer collective who's already dealing with someone. So I don't feel you're single. If you are single, it's no contact and you've been thinking a lot about this person. But I don't feel that. I feel there's a resistance to change here. There's a lot of, I feel worry and anxiety. I feel overthinking, overanalyzing. I kind of feel like two people are being pulled in different directions. It's like I feel like there's like, you have one really progressive person and one really traditional person, and you just have different values, different morals. Maybe you just want different things in life. You look at things differently. There's a difference of lifestyle or ethics or morals here. Let's understand that. What's the Hermit and the Nine of Swords? Can we understand that? I also feel like with the Hermit and the Nine of Swords, yeah, you're in a relationship. There's a Ten of Wands is in reverse, but it's becoming more work than fun. Like, Knight of Cups and the Five of Cups. So it's like you love this person. You feel a connection to this person and vice versa. You're in a relationship with this person, but Cancer, I feel like you're realizing that you guys look at things differently. You see things differently, right? It's like the way that you perceive things, the way you look at things, the type of life you want, the type of future you want. You guys just aren't on the same page here. And I do feel it has to do with values or lifestyle, the way that you're looking at things, right? It's not the strong who survive. It's the ones who adapt that survive. And there's an element where like one of you is adapting, changing, evolving, growing, and the other person's not. And it's now the relationship is becoming more work. Maybe you're not on the same page. You're constantly arguing and squabbling. But there's love here. So there's a connection, there's a history, there's a bond between the two of you. What's the Knight of Cups? Okay, so that's how we start this. That's the energy. That's how you'll know if this is your reading or not. The Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a long history between you and this person. And I feel with this Eight of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, there's a long history here, but I'm not so sure that you've expressed, like with the Four of Swords, it's like someone not expressing they're not happy. It's like you're not fully letting, maybe you got one foot in the door, one foot out the door, but you haven't expressed that. Maybe you're ready to leave, but you haven't told the person that. There's an element here of a lack of expressing emotions, but it's like out of uncomfortable energy or reaction. You're afraid of what they're going to say. You're afraid of what's going to happen. You're afraid of what they're going to do. So I do feel there's a lot of elements where you're keeping something to yourself, right? And you haven't really expressed that this is like a really big deal or that you're considering leaving over this. There's just a lack of emotional expression here over whatever this issue is. So you haven't, well, I don't know how else to say that. There's just a lack of that emotional connection or communication over this issue. There is a resistance, and it's kind of like that energy of why bother saying it, because I know that doesn't matter. They don't care. They're not on the same vibe. They're not on the same frequency. They're not going to change. And that's really what it is so you know they're not going to change. You know you're looking at things differently, and you're kind of deciding if this is where you want to be. This is a relationship you still want to be in. I do feel you enjoy each other's company. Like, again, I feel like there's been a lot of love in this relationship throughout this connection. I do feel there's a history here. But is it enough? If you don't want the same thing, or if you're growing apart, or if you're going in different directions, is that enough to keep the relationship going? What's the Queen of Pentacles here? Let's see what this energy is. What's the Queen of Pentacles here? Is this the other person? Is this Cancer's energy? Is it High Priestess is in reverse? It's you. There's a Six of Cups. There's the Star. I think you're changing, Cancer, and there could be children involved. That could be part of the challenge here. Yeah, Temperance and the Chariot, and there's the Star. There's the High Priestess in reverse and the Six of Cups. I kind of feel like it's like you're changing your views, you know, maybe at a spiritual awakening, or you're just looking at things differently. You're just growing and evolving. I kind of feel like this reading is about two people who are growing apart, and you haven't expressed that to this other person yet. It's like what you wanted, you know, when you met each other when you were 25 was to retire and move to Hawaii, but now that you're 50, you kind of don't want to live in Hawaii. Maybe you want to stay where you are. Maybe you want to go to Alaska, or maybe you want to travel the world. There's an element here where you're growing and you're evolving and you're changing, and the person that you're in a relationship with isn't. And you're wondering if this is the best place for you, if you want to continue in this. I do feel there's love. I do feel there's children and or complications. It's not just simple as just getting up and leaving, but you're keeping a lot to yourself and trying to figure out the best moves for you. And maybe they just have outdated thinking. Maybe they're just very, very traditional, and they're very rigid, or they're very controlling, authoritarian, and it's just not working for you. But ultimately, this isn't working for you, and you have a decision to make. Okay, so what's the advice then for Cancer? What's the advice? Knight of Swords. Oh, there's something from the past that you haven't let go of yet. Okay, that was the High Priestess, and there's the walking away. The advice is to move forward without resentment. What's this card popped up? Seven of Cups. Okay, so I think they might have said something very offensive, or something that was very condescending or arrogant, or just goes against everything that you believe. The advice here is to move forward, no matter how you move forward, without resentment and anger. Okay, they said it, they did it. You have a difference of opinion, you're looking at this differently, and now you have a decision to make. But you don't want to make that decision when you're angry, when you're hostile, when you're, you know, haven't let go and you're not haven't forgiven yet, because those tend to be the decisions that we regret when we're in an emotional reactive state. So it's walking away, it's getting neutral, basically, is the advice, Cancer. You have a decision to make, and they don't want you to make this decision when you're angry or mad or rush into the decision, right? What if it's not a deal breaker and it's just a flaw? You just disagree about what you want to eat on Thursdays. It could be something small. So there's an element here of really taking the time to figure out how you feel. The Seven of Cups is there, so you have options, you have choices, you have a decision to make, and they just don't want you to make that when you're in a reactive state or rush into it. They really want you, and when I say they, Spirit or your spirit guides, if that's who's coming through, wants you to get into that place of neutrality, really think about the options and the choices on the road ahead. What type of future do you want? And really take the time to make that decision for yourself, because I do feel you have a big decision to make. I also feel you're not openly expressing this concern or this issue to the person in your relationship. You have a decision to make, Cancer. That's what we've tapped into today. This might be a very specific reading. I'll find out in the comments. But I do know whoever it's meant for will find it. So let's grab some oracles. Let's see what they want to say. We'll jump back into the tarot. We'll do a what's next. And we'll see what you decide to do, or if you've made that decision here in the next few weeks. We'll go out to the beginning of June. We're almost in June. Crazy! Beginning of June, middle of June style of energy. So what does Cancer need to surrender to in order to make this decision, in order to... Whoa. Cut the deck! Okay, what does Cancer need to surrender to? Talk to us, baby. Talk to us! Silence. So in quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. That's pretty identical to the advice that they just gave. All right. What's the spirit animal message? What's the spirit animal message here for Cancer? Back. We have a transition here. You must pay attention to the signs around you. The transition might seem frightening at first, but you must let go of old habits and old patterns that no longer serve your higher calling. They're only going to hinder your growth. And the intuition, we have the blue jay. We have two flying creatures here. So for me, that always means look at this from a higher perspective, from a bird's eye view, right? Before making any choices or any decisions. You are encouraged to follow your feelings and your intuition. This is a reminder that your personal power is in your own hands, and you're free to take flight at any time if you find yourself in a situation that doesn't suit you anymore. Both of these are kind of guiding you. Well, trust your intuition, but I definitely feel that's guiding you in a different direction or in a new direction. I do want to grab the caring connection because it is a love reading. So what is the caring connection between Cancer and this person, that third enlightenment? With enlightenment, there is no separation. We recognize that we are one with the divine. All right, Cancer, let's get down to it. Let's get it. Let's get your next actions. Now, when I say that, there's always free will. You're going to make the decisions you're going to make. And when I say next actions, how you're doing, how you've been, what you do next, how this is going to play out, let's go a few weeks out. We'll go to the beginning of June, maybe the middle of June. Let's see what you do. Do you take any choices? Do you make a decision? Or let's see how this plays out for you or what you're doing here. So we have the Four of Wands. We have the King of Swords. So Four of Wands, King of Swords energy here. Oh, sorry guys. Dogs are barking. There must be someone at the door. We have Death. I do feel you've made your decision. Scorpio energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy here. What's on the other side of that? Yeah, the Emperor. There's a very traditional, rigid, stubborn person here. Okay, one more card for Cancer. Yeah, the Fool's in reverse. And there's the Two of Pentacles. You make your decision, Cancer. I'm sorry. This is a reading about the ending of a relationship. I do feel you end up letting this relationship go. I just feel you're not on the same page. They're presenting as the Emperor and the King of Swords. They don't even want to talk about it. Maybe that's why you've kept your feelings to yourself. There's really no point in talking about it because it's a conversation that's not going to be well received, or they just shut down. They don't say anything. They don't do anything. They're not going to change. This isn't going anywhere. I'm not going to get what I want in life. We're not moving in the same direction. I do see you ending this relationship. The Death is here. So the Two of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, you know what you knew. Five of Swords is in reverse, so you're at peace with this decision. You know what you need to do. It's kind of like you don't want to walk away. I do feel there's a long history and there very well could be family and children involved, but ultimately, if they're not going to change and if you're not happy in the situation and you're either growing apart or looking at things very differently, then that element of compatibility is not there anymore. And that's what I see here. And I see you making the decision to let go. I feel like you put on all the work. You did everything. Maybe you went to counseling. Maybe you went to therapy. Or maybe you just really tried to talk to this person. But when somebody doesn't change and you're not happy, sometimes that's the sign that you need to let go of a connection, a friendship, or a relationship. In this situation, Cancer, I see you letting go. I see you walking away. This person's not going to change. You know it. And you're not happy. This isn't what you want. All right, I'm sorry to say that, Cancer, but that's what I've tapped into today is a Cancerian who's letting go of a relationship with someone. They're not going to change. You're not happy. You do end up making the decision to let this go. And I do feel with the Four of Wands here, it's not a reactive decision. It wasn't impulsive. The Knight of Pentacles is there. You thought about this. You looked at all the angles. I do think that there's something from the past that just kind of was a nail in the coffin and crossing the line. I think you guys are too different and you're going to walk away from this relationship. Okay, that's what I have, Cancer. So I do hope you at least resonated and enjoyed the reading and enjoyed my channel. And if you do want to support me and my channel, I do ask that you like, comment, subscribe. It does help it to grow. Thank you, Cancer. I always appreciate your support. And let's close your reading off today with your final message. What's the final message for Cancer, baby? Keep good company, read good books, love good things, and cultivate soul and body as faithfully as you can. Take 10 minutes out of your day to read. Okay, Cancer, that's what I have. I truly wish you the best of luck. Until next time.